Hey, Lance here, the Vintage Speaker Audiophile. I've gotten some requests to cover streaming, especially from older viewers that that haven't got streaming set up. They're still using vinyl, etc. And I got to tell you, the fastest, easiest way to start streaming is to use your smart TV. Most everyone already has a smart TV. And smart TVs have built-in operating systems where you can download streaming software and get started. So stick with me for a minute and I'll just take you through it. Okay, to start streaming you need a data source. There are a number of streaming services out there, Tidal, Amazon Music, Qobuz. My personal favorite is YouTube, just because it has a breadth of content that you just don't find anywhere else. So what you do is real simple, is you go to your TV and you download the YouTube app to your smart TV. You go through the application software download process. If you've never done that, I'm not going to go through it, but basically you download the application, and then once you have the application set up, you can go over, click on it, application will load, and right away you'll have something to stream. Let's go get some music here. How about this right here? And you'll be streaming through the TV. So this is running through the TV right now. Now, people want to do better than run through the TV, though. They want to get it to their high quality stereo. So most of these smart TVs have audio output in the form of a digital, I think it's called a Toslink. Basically, it's an optical connection. So where you can get an optical cable and you can run that to your AV receiver, if you have one. Now, you're going to have a preamp that has optical input. If you don't have that, then you're kind of stuck. You might be able to go HDMI if you have HDMI input. I guess in the worst case scenario, you can use the headphone jack out of the TV and go into the RCA inputs of your preamp, but I certainly wouldn't recommend that, because one of the critical components of streaming is the quality of the digital analog converter, otherwise known as the DAC. And when you go the headphone jack output route, the DAC that you're using is the one in the TV, and I wouldn't expect that would be a very high quality DAC. Nevertheless, you can do that. You can do headphone jack out, go right into your preamp. But preferable is to use HDMI or optical and pass the digital signal unmolested onto your AV receiver or your preamp, where presumably you have a little better DAC that will process that signal into the analog components. So, for example, I've got my Hisense cheap TV running the Roku operating system with the YouTube app downloaded. I also have Tidal and I also have Amazon Music, but I mainly use YouTube because of the content. And I have an optical cable running to my AV receiver. So now when I click on the AV receiver and turn that on, now I'm getting that streaming signal to my stereo. And yes, it sounds good. It sounds very good. There was a little bit of debate on one of the Facebook groups I was just reading about whether this is a quality way to stream or not. And I say that it is, because when your signal stays in the digital realm, which is everything in front of the DAC, there really isn't much difference in the quality of the signal that depends on your hardware and software. It doesn't matter at all. A digital signal is a digital signal. It's either correct or it's not. It's only when you get to the DAC and convert that to an analog signal does quality come into play. So Just to recap, if you want to get started with streaming real quickly, you can use your smart TV and the optical out with an optical cable into your preamp or AV receiver. And just set things up, configure it, download YouTube, download Tidal, whatever you want to use, and enjoy. This works great. It gets you started cheaply, gets you started almost free. Maybe you have to buy the price of the cable, and that's about it. But most everybody has a smart TV. So anyway, Lance here, Vintage Speaker Audiophile. Thanks for listening.